Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're unpacking a truly fascinating, highly coordinated legal and financial pressure campaign. We're going to break down a source document sent as a highly targeted mass email that maps out an elaborate trap aimed squarely at the global insurance industry. It's literally a masterclass in weaponized game theory, and we're going to deconstruct exactly how it works.
Okay, let's dive into this. $3.66 quadrillion. Just let that sink in for a second. It is a staggering, almost incomprehensible number. But according to the source documents, the architects of this campaign claim this is the total financial exposure currently hanging over the heads of the world's biggest corporations and their insurers.
The campaign kicks off with a mass email featuring a highly dramatic opening line, "To the underwriters of genocide." This is a meticulously targeted attack. The authors explicitly hit the direct inboxes of life sciences executives at major carriers like Chubb, Zurich, AIG, and Swiss Re. But here's the kicker. To maximize the pressure, they openly CC'd the investor relations boards of Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J, and then quietly BCC'd the International Criminal Court using a specific reference code. Here is the blueprint of the trap we're covering today. First, the quadrillion-dollar threat. Second, the void ab initio doctrine. Third, the blockchain evidence. Fourth, the prisoner's dilemma trap. And finally, triggering the first domino. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The quadrillion-dollar threat. Before we get into the actual mechanics, we have to look at the sheer scale of the exposure they're claiming. So how on earth do they calculate a $3.66 quadrillion figure? Well, the campaign claims there are 3.3 billion affected individuals globally. They model the damages at exactly $1.11 million per plaintiff, breaking down to $185,000 in compensatory and $925,000 in punitive damages. They even calculate a staggering $60.44 trillion just for attorney fees. To put that into perspective, they are claiming an exposure that is nearly 15,000 times larger than the historic tobacco settlement and over 73,000 times larger than the opioid crisis. And they aren't just yelling into the void. The documents explicitly target 10 Tier 1 insurers and 5 major brokers. By naming specific vice presidents and directors of life sciences, people like Shane Keegan at Chubb, Leah Restiello at Zurich, Yen Lai at AIG, and brokers like Stephen Madds and Chris Budge, the campaign attempts to deeply personalize this catastrophic liability, putting it right on their individual desks. Section 2. The void ab initio doctrine. This is the legal loophole the authors claim allows them to completely bypass existing corporate protections. Void ab initio literally translates to invalid from inception. The crucial point here is that the campaign argues informed consent for the global vaccine rollout was never actually given. Why? Because they allege critical information about undisclosed Bluetooth hardware was withheld from the public. Therefore, according to their argument, any legal agreements, immunity protections, or medical authorizations are entirely null and void right from the very start. And this brilliantly illustrates the campaign's core legal pivot. Normally, you have the PrEP Act shield, which provides broad immunity from medical countermeasures. But the campaign attempts to sidestep this shield entirely by reclassifying the vaccine. They argue it's not a medicine, but rather an unauthorized consumer electronic device, which would mean it's governed by strict FCC liability. It's an audacious leap.
Section 3. The blockchain evidence. This is what the campaign authors present to these executives as their undeniable, self-authenticating proof. To back up their claims, the authors cite an intricate patent lattice. They list patents filed years before the pandemic, like a 2012 patent for using the body as an antenna and a 2020 patent for a graphene oxide carrier. Furthermore, they claim regulatory bodies like the FDA, the FCC, and the Bluetooth SIG completely ignored or just rubber-stamped these nanoscale communication standards.
Now, what's really interesting about this part is a tool they call the Bluefang GPS scanner. According to the document's logs, they claim the scanner has detected 433 witnesses, logging Bluetooth low-energy MAC addresses emitting directly from vaccinated human tissue and cross-referencing those exact signals with precise GPS coordinates. The campaign then outlines a super strict high-tech chain of custody. First, the scanner detects the MAC address and tags it with GPS. Then, and this is critical, the data is cryptographically notarized to the Solana blockchain in just 400 milliseconds. Finally, it's submitted to the International Criminal Court under reference 23-D04BB3, officially charging a crimes against humanity violation. They claim this makes their evidence mathematically self-authenticating under Federal Rule of Evidence 90213. No lawyers needed,
The math is the witness.
Section 4, the prisoner's dilemma trap. This is the psychological warfare component, showing exactly how the trap is sprung.
The entire trap hinges on the intentional act exclusion. This is a standard clause in directors' and officers' insurance policies that voids coverage if the insured committed an act with the intent to cause harm or with reckless disregard. Because the campaign claims the prior patents prove intent, they argue this exclusion is triggered, stripping away the executive's insurance shields entirely.
To force immediate action, the campaign weaponizes game theory. They create a brutal matrix comparing the choices of insurers filing a reservation of rights against their clients. They argue the very first insurer to file survives and gains a massive subrogation advantage. But the last to file, the matrix claims they will be liquidated, inheriting the entire $3.66 quadrillion liability. It's a classic prisoner's dilemma, mathematically designed to make insurance executives turn on their own pharmaceutical clients out of pure self-preservation. The authors actually view the standard insurance reservation of rights letter not as a defense mechanism, but as a forced confession. As the source states, filing the ROR is an admission of knowledge. It says, "I knew about the patents and the hardware." This admission is devastating because it triggers the intentional act exclusion. It's a terrifying catch-22 for these companies.
Section 5, triggering the first domino. How this mass email strategy is actually executed in the real world.
The campaign doesn't just threaten these executives. It provides the exact legal paperwork needed to defect. They include a link to a fill-in-the-blanks reservation of rights template sent to over 150 contacts. They explicitly call the template the bullet and the email the trigger. They designed it as a loaded weapon, making the act of abandoning their clients as completely frictionless as possible. To force total panic, they apply a rapid countdown. Hour 0 is the mass email trigger. By hour 24, the psychological window to be the first to file the ROR closes. They warn that an inevitable cascade will follow, culminating in simultaneous legal filings with the ICC, FCC, and state AGs, pointing to a future target date of June 9, 2026, to prosecute what they call the VaxNet system. It is a meticulously designed pressure cooker of legal, financial, and psychological warfare. Which leaves us with a really provocative question. Will the game theory of insurance panic work exactly as the architects of this campaign designed? Will someone crack, or will these massive global institutions hold the line? Regardless of the outcome, it's a truly fascinating look at how legal structures and blockchain technology can be weaponized to apply unimaginable pressure. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive in the Explainer, and I'll catch you next time.